All right, folks, welcome back to PrepperNow. There is something that has been kind of on my mind, and I think we as a community need to discuss it, and we're going to do that today, about just some basic things.
It was an accident. About an hour ago, a small jet went down inside New York City. The president was on board.
President of what?
All right, friends, let's have a little conversation about some stuff, especially now that, I don't know, I've seen some things. I'm not going to call anyone out or anything like that, and this is in every aspect of this community, and I got to call us out. First and foremost, nobody likes getting into a measuring contest, and I think you know what I'm talking about, kind of between your legs. Measuring contest to who is more or who is better or who is anything. Let me tell you what we need. We need everybody prepping. And if you're out in some country enclave bunker and you've got 4 years worth of stuff, congratulations. I think that's fantastic. But guess what? We also need the people in the cities that are, apartment dwellers learning how to grow potatoes in buckets and stuff like that. I am by no stretch of the imagination a better than everybody else prepper. I'm probably average at best. I've got food put away. I've got some other stuff. I'm not militarily trained. We have definite, things about our little enclave here that are probably a little bit more advanced or set us up better than other people. But at the same time, I'm sure every single person out there has something that they can do, have a skill, have something prepped, have something that is probably better than what we have. And it doesn't matter. That is good. You'll never, ever hear me come here and talk down on people or say, we've got this and we're just, I get so aggravated with that. It is important for you guys to be prepping right now. If anything in the last 72 hours has shown you is that prepping is more than just having a crap load of food and water at your homestead. There's all kinds of stuff you need to have, in consideration. What do you have in your vehicle? Do you have a first aid kit? Do you have food? Do you have water? Do you have the ability to clean food and water? Do you have the ability to dress wounds? Do you have the ability to go out and, create fire with a ferro rod? Do you have, whatever. All of that is very important, but none of us are better than anybody else. I watched a video today of two dudes in Ukraine, one Russian soldier and one Ukrainian soldier, go hand-to-hand combat. It's about an 8-minute video, and I have to tell you, it didn't look like anything I'd ever seen in a movie. What we imagine in our minds and what actually is going to happen are going to be two completely different things. There was nothing Hollywood about this. There was nothing glorious. It was just two guys fighting for survival. And it was incredibly interesting to watch. The one guy started to plead for his life. The other guy didn't get him. He didn't let him have it. He ended him. Nobody has the upper hand on anybody else in every situation. There's always going to be things that you could do better. But at the same time, you need to start somewhere. You need to start at some point and at least get your mind around having maybe a week's worth of food. Maybe that's where you're at. Everybody is welcome on this channel. I mean that. Everybody's welcome on this channel. I'm sure I'm going to disagree with people politically. I know people are going to throw it back in my face. I know people are going to say, oh, well, you're just one of those, YouTube preppers or whatever. What really matters is, and, the prepping community has its faults and it's also got its benefits. We could all sit here and pick out the faults of the prepper community. If someone listens to another channel that maybe I'm not really into, but it gets them into preparedness, what is the negative about that? What is the problem with that? I don't see anything negative. Every single person that is prepping and doing things to better themselves in any kind of an emergency situation, a long emergency, an SHTF, whatever you want to call it. If there's one thing we have seen over 2024 is that the SHTF takes on many different forms. It can be the unexpected, like the people in Western North Carolina or the people in New Orleans, Bourbon Street. It can be all kinds of different stuff. There's so many different things. It could be like what happened with us, with our water going out. It might be you going without your medication for a week because of a screw up. And you might have to go get supplements or something to make it so your blood pressure medicine is able to withstand an extra week. Maybe you lose your health care. Maybe you lose your job and you just need a little bit of food to get you through because you just don't physically have the money to go out and buy food. Every single person needs to just take off all of the different names and all the different levels and all the different pissing contests and put that aside. And everybody needs to get into some form of preparedness. Now, what you want to do with that is up to you. I can't tell you. I have my ideas of what I think is ideal. But even then, who knows? And what is good for me might not be good for you. And what is good for you might not be good for me. But can we please just stop the judgmentalness? Can we stop all of the, I've got this and I'm, hoorah and all that. And I'm not saying anybody in this community is doing that. I'm not even saying that people in the prepper community in general largely are doing that. I see elements of it. That's why this video came out. But the fact is, we all have to take care of our little plot of land. I prep for my children and I prep for my family. I'm sure you're prepping for a different thing. Maybe you're taking care of your mother. I don't know. But guess what? God bless you for at least thinking about that kind of stuff and not, going out and living day to day and pissing your money away at a nightclub every night or whatever. There was another incident last night in Queens. Imagine going there. And also, as I said yesterday, that doesn't mean living your life in fear. This isn't fear-mongering. This is reality. Every single one of us is going to come into some form of an emergency situation at some point in the not-so-distant future. Hopefully it's nothing on a global or country or even regional or statewide kind of affair. But the fact is, the better you have your situation, the more things you have together, the more ability you have to handle what is going on, to take on $7 eggs. All of that is going to set you up for success. So, if you see people doing that, tell them to stop. Tell them, you know what, at least the person's prepping. Or maybe they'll get better in the future. Or maybe you should focus on yourself. Had a long conversation yesterday, family. And, some people like to talk about other people. I'm going to tell you what I tell my students. Great people talk about concepts. Small people talk about other people. Take care of your side of the neighborhood, your side of the street, your home, whatever it may be. And if you're in an apartment prepping, I know what that's like. I've done it. Just keep on keeping on. Don't listen to what other people have to say. Don't feel deficient. Don't feel like you're not good enough. Don't feel like you don't have enough. Don't feel like you can't handle it. Because I can assure you, if you're thinking about it now, whatever comes down the pike, you will be able to handle it. And welcome to PrepperNow. All right, friends? Check out those links in the description. God bless you all. Happy New Year. We'll see you tonight on the live stream.